This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
A very good evening to everyone. And as you can see, I'm joined live by a host of fantastic and wonderful Wolves fans of all genders and generations. And we're going to be chewing the fat tonight here on Extra Time. Primarily, of course, about the 1-1 draw with our East Midland neighbours, Nottingham Forest, but we didn't do an extra time for the Burnley game, which we did win 1-0. So we have a lot to digest because we're going to have a look across both games as well. But we will do in our man of the match highlight of the day, performance rating based off the Forest game. We'll be looking at the things learnt, all the points that are going to be raised by our pundits tonight, and we're also going to be having a nice little quiz to see who comes out top of the penalty shootout quiz at the end. And it's going to be a 4-way shootout. During that, we'll also be taking any questions. If you do want to guarantee your comment or question being displayed on the screen, use the super chat. Not only does it guarantee it, but it also supports the channel and helps pay for the software. And whilst I'm on that, I do want to say a massive, big thank you to the local digital branding company, Creation Wolf, who power Extra Time. They deliver the industry's latest and most advanced digital solutions to take your brand online presence and digital capability to the next level. They're absolutely fantastic people. They're local Wolverhampton. You won't get better. And they are creationwolf.com. The link is in the description of this video. We have got some other little offers from our partners coming as well. You can click on, if you're watching this live or on catch up, you can scan the QR codes of NordVPN and FOCO. But can I say, Josh, have we got a nickname for you yet, Josh?
No.
Have you actually been on the match reaction after a game yet?
No, not yet.
That's why you haven't graduated to having a full nickname. So we need to get you that. How are you, mate?
All good, thanks. I was going to say relaxing day, but I did a 5-mile race this morning, so it wasn't too bad. And then I've just relaxed for the rest of the day and done some bits and bobs around the house.
Fantastic. Well, if you can think of a cool nickname for Josh for when he does eventually get on the post-match instant reaction after a game, leave your thoughts in the discussion chat, and we'll put it to Josh. But as you know, I'm Dazzling Dave. We've got Magic Mars, Sensational Stan, and you can see there why Chris is called Cheerful Chris. It has to match with your name, apart from Lucy, who's just basically Golden Girl. And talking about Lucy Golden Girl, hello and welcome, mate.
Hello, Chick. I'm here.
Fantastic. And it was a really lovely, wasn't it, spending an evening, a lot of the Always Wolves posse and squad at the Wolves All-Stars the other night. And you joined myself, Josh, Cheerful, Charismatic, Sensation, Magic, and many, many others on that. And it was a really nice event, wasn't it?
It was really, really good event, and I'm well up for the next one. It was fantastic. Lovely to see you all as well.
Had a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
And saying that, Chris, you were there as well for that. It was a lovely evening, mate. And how are you feeling today?
Not cheerful. Anyway, after yesterday's performance, I was cheerful and did smile once on Thursday night, but unfortunately, they've got me a little bit mad after yesterday.
So yeah, a bit grumpy. And we also, it's not quite a debut because he did come on as a duo with his brother Lewis in the past. We've had Lewis on a few times flying solo, but it's Lucas's first solo flight, full debut tonight. And I'm proud to also say that Lucas has always has also joined our writing team for the website and will be contributing to articles on the alwayswolves.co.uk website. There's no paywall or anything behind that. So lots of articles go on that. Make sure you bookmark alwayswolves.co.uk. Lucas, great to have you making your solo full debut tonight, mate. How are you feeling?
I'm good, thanks, Dave. Are you?
Yeah, man, good. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. So why don't we kick off, Lucas, with yourself, with any points that you'd like to make regarding the Forest game, but also I think with reference also to the Burnley game, because we haven't chewed the fat on that, and any takeaways that you'd like to take away from those two games?
I think what I noticed a bit in the Burnley game, then loads in the Forest game, is when we had Aitnor in the squad, he'd push up into the left mid role. And with Bueno, he doesn't like pushing up, and Aitnor would take on his man and then get in the box. But with Bueno, he's a bit scared. So I noticed that. And there's also the atmosphere in the last two games that haven't been the same since the whole season, which I saw in the chat as well. And it's just, I don't know why the atmosphere has been so poor recently, but we've won against Burnley, so I thought the atmosphere would be a bit better. It did improve against Forest, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I think that's that's an interesting point that you make there. And I'm going to, are you a fan of Aitnor?
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting debate because Cheerful is really not a fan of Aitnor, so that's going to be an interesting debate that we can have on the pluses and why falls and not on Aitnor. So we'll come on to that in a minute. On the fan side of things, in terms of things, now I think the atmosphere at Molineux generally has been really, really good this year, generally, and also at the away games we've had much more of a togetherness. Obviously, last year we had the Bruno Lodge, and people saying that the fans generate the atmosphere, but it's also the performances on the pitch generate the atmosphere also in the stands. Now, at the away games against Arsenal and even Sheffield United and Fulham, although it was bloody cold and wet and stuff, I know they noticed, the fans were magnificent trying to raise the team. And the atmosphere against City and Tottenham and Villa and stuff like that was very, very good. But I think it was a little bit flat. Now, the cold weather, especially for the likes of Burnley, for example, when you're in the stands cold, it's not like on a summer's day when everyone's happy Larry and it's warm and, you're shivering. So it does take a little bit out of it. And also sound doesn't travel as much when there's a lot of moisture in the air and stuff. But we are in a 30,000-seater stadium. And, it was a little bit flat probably against Forest. But I think it's flat because, and I'm going to come on to Josh on this, I've been worried personally, and I've been really happy with where we're going and the progress it's made and some of the results that we've had and Gary O'Neill and where we've got to. But a blip has turned to me to a trend, and this is this slow start to games. Conceding early against Tottenham, early against Fulham, conceding early against Sheffield United. We nearly conceded early against Burnley. If it wasn't for a couple of great saves from Bentley and missed opportunities. And again, we conceded early against Forest. You give teams a start, and you don't start playing until 20, 25 minutes. You're always going to be playing catch-up. We did play catch-up. We got the great goal, and then we never pushed off. Josh, what's your take on this slow start? Because it's really starting to niggle me now. It's not like I say, a blip. It's becoming a trend. It's happening. Why do you think this is? And what's your thoughts on Lucas's observations on the atmosphere in the last couple of games?
It's weird with a slow start. To me, it only seemed that slow start's come in really since Neto's been. We've lost that outlet with Neto, allowed to push the team a bit further up the pitch.
Yeah.
It allows the front three to move more because you've got Neto just sticking to that one side. And then you've got Hwang and Cunha doing what they need to do on the other side or giving Neto a free roam in behind him, a bit like Pablo Sarabia was doing the weekend. But I don't know what it is. The front three, the first 15, 20 minutes are just static. You watch them all, they don't move. And then it was like that for the whole of the second half. It was just, there was no movement at all in the second half. It was ridiculous. And nothing would stick. Nothing would stick at all yesterday. It was just that last half an hour yesterday was a slow burner. It just
Did you think we lost the midfield when Lamina went off?
Yeah, I think we lost it a bit. I thought Boubacar was going to. If you notice, he was veering out to the right, down towards South Bank, Billy Wright, and it was like it was just then Gomez left in the middle. No one was tracking back, when Boubacar was pushing out. But the slow start, I just can't explain it. It just doesn't seem to work the first 15 minutes. But the one thing I will say is, I think it's something like 8 points from losing positions this season so far. So it's a good job teams aren't scoring 2 or 3 in the first 15 minutes, because getting 8 points is not a bad return. But we've got to stop doing that, because there'll be some games soon where, well, Brighton's the big example at the start of the season, when we went down two goals really early. But it's they've got to do something about it. But what they do, it's weird. It's really weird. And the one thing I will say is Fulham did it second half on the Monday last week. Burnley did it on Tuesday night as they kicked off at the start of the game, and Burnley did it yesterday. The old football, the old football league kickoff, where they've stuck everybody to the one side of the pitch and just lumped it up straight away. Got it back to the centre half, who's just lumped it, and it's put the pressure straight on us straight away. And I've not seen Premier League teams do that for a while. In the last 3 games, teams we've played have all done it when they've kicked off the first or the second half.
They're seeing that as a weakness to Wolves, because if I'm an opposition, I'm going to come on to Chris now to come in on this next. If I'm an opposition manager at the moment, my dad said it, and he's like 86 and he's seen it. He said they know that we slow out the blocks. They know that we're not high pressing and we're just slow starting. So they come at us and they're on the front foot. And when we've done really well against City and Tottenham and all of that, I know we conceded early against Tottenham, but we'd completely dominated that game after conceding that goal. We were on the front foot, chasing, lots of energy. There just seems to be a lack of energy in the first 15, 20 minutes. Chris, I mean, am I just imagining this, or is this something that you have a concern of as well?
Lack of energy, I think is a trend in the Premier League at the moment. If you look at Newcastle at the moment, they're dead on the feet. I think there's a bit of that with us. What I would say on Saturday was Nottingham Forest went out to train 10 minutes before us and left about 7 or 8 minutes after us. It's just they seem to be training for a lot longer than we would.
Warming up.
Yeah, warming up at the start of the match. So I think there's an element of that. If you used to watch the team come out in the second half, I'll talk about the second half. When we had Nuno there, there'd be a guy there. He'd put them through a drill, and they go onto the pitch and start. We've got a couple of cones down. I'm not knocking the coaching team because I think they're doing a great job, but it's just observations. Put a couple of cones down. Some of them actually sprint. Some of them just jog past. Kuna, Sarabia didn't do the warm-up activity. Just so for people to look at when they watch the next game. It's if you apply yourselves like that, then I think it's just a bit of a thing that we've got going. I don't think teams are pushing us particularly hard. I just think the way that we're playing at the moment, we haven't got the outlet of Neto. We haven't got Aït-Nouri. So, one thing he's good at is putting teams under pressure and getting on with the ball. Bueno, as Luke said, is a different type of player, but I'll tell you why Bueno didn't work a bit later on with on Saturday.
Well, tell us now. Tell us now whilst we're on the subject.
So it's Toti's fault. If you watch Toti when he plays with Bueno, when he receives the ball very slowly from Dawson, what he does is he immediately turns, telegraphs the ball to the left back.
And they're closing down.
Closing down, he don't know where it's going. What he's got to do is get the ball and run at the guy that's going to close Bueno down. And as he closes in and creates a space for Bueno, he needs to release it, but he doesn't. So it's the easiest job in the world for their fullback to defend, because he knows Totti's not going to run at him. He's going to pass it to Bueno. And that's what the young lad from Liverpool, isn't it? He was that lad that was at fullback.
Yeah.
He just knew what was going to happen, and he time and time again, He's got the ball. He's going to turn past to Bueno, and off he went, and he cut the ball out. He did it time after time. That's what the difference is. Maybe with Nori, he come further back down the pitch, but he's confident in creating more space and attacking people with space. See, Bueno's trying to edge to the right so that the pass onto him lets him go, rather than Nori who will come back and then go. That's the two differences in a fullback.
Well, you played that position yourself, didn't you, mate?
Yeah. Bueno can defend better than Nori, but that's the difference. He's got a different attacking style. Unless we learn to close in that space with Totti, then release the ball and give Bueno the space, it's going to be difficult. And that's where the difference is with the two. It's happening time and time again on Saturday. I think that invites them onto us.
I'm just going to say, Smudge here has just come on saying Hugo Bueno is Wolves' best player. Hugo Bueno is not Wolves' best player at all by a million miles. He's a good player and he's a good prospect, but he's not our best player. If he was our best player, he'd be winning man of the match performances every week, like Lamina.
He's also injured as well, Dave.
Yeah, and he's he's coming back from injury. He's got a lot of potential, but he's not our best player. But he's a good player and he's got a lot of potential. Lucy, what's your observations of Burnley and Forest, and what sort of points would you like to make?
I think the word frustration comes to mind very, very clearly. I was just bored yesterday, and Burnley, it was just very, very slow. All the passing, I don't know what's going on with our passing at the moment. The last two games, it's been extremely poor. Totti yesterday, Chris has brought up the subject. Totti yesterday frustrated me. I thought he was the worst player on that pitch yesterday. His passing was dreadful. And they knew it, and they knew exactly where to hit every single time. I was swearing my head off last night, so apologies to Mum and Dad, but I did, because he was just doing my head in. I wish he took him off, because it was just no good at all.
There's limited options, though, isn't there, really, at centre back? You got Santiago Bueno, but that's about as far as it goes. And he's still not the pace of the Premier League either. But we need options.
We do need the options, but anything's better than a player that can't pass a damn ball. Yeah. If you can't pass a ball from the back, there's something not right. And I've got to say, I don't like Kilman being on the side either. I prefer him to be in front of goal, the same as Cody used to.
That's a good point. Samuel Sheldon says, has fans thought that if you create noise and cheer the players on, they might respond better? Well, mate, we've just talked about...
Nobody turns up there, Dave, at the start of the game to moan. It's a two-way street, What we need to see is application and movement and effort. And if we see those three things, then they'll get the same from the fans. But if we don't see it, it's very hard for the fans to do it.
Well, this is the point I was making. I don't agree with what Samuel's saying there, because the fans have been magnificent in backing the team. I don't know if he's been to a game or he just watches it on the telly. I don't know. I'm actually there, home and away. The away support have been absolutely sensational this year. Even when things have been really bad, getting absolutely peed on. In cold and freezing cold and getting rained on and wet and everything. And Josh, you've been there as well, and they've been magnificent. And they've been magnificent for most of the season compared to last season. Molyneux's been really, really good, but the last few performances haven't been. When the team's starting slow, even though the fans are behind them, it does take the wind out the fans' sails, and it's been flat. We did raise the team yesterday when we conceded the goal. They didn't turn on the team. The fans got behind the team, encouraged them on, and we scored. Let's face it, probably an absolutely brilliant goal. It was a fantastic move. It was a brilliant
butter.
Yeah, that's the sort of goal you see Man City and teams like that do when against teams that play a low block. It was a beautiful ball through. Sarabia made the movement. He cuts it back on. We've got Cunha running into the box. He finishes it off. It was 1, 2, 3, bang, goal.
We score goals like that now, Dave, all the time. Those are the sort of goals we score. Not Sarabia, but Lamina score one. Not so. Wang always seems to be at the back post to play it back across the key. It seems to be something that we score a goal in that manner very often. I think. I don't think it's a one-off.
Well, no, we do, but like we didn't score hardly any goals last season. And Wolves historically, over the last 3 or 4 years, have had an issue with breaking teams that just sit. Now, we all knew Forest had come off the back of a 5-0 drubbing. We're just going to, Steve Cooper's job's on the line. He's going to want to get something out of the game. They probably came for a point and, they were hoping for a set piece, a breakaway goal, or, their throw-ins were actually better than our corners, to be fair, the guy that was throwing, because we still can't deliver a set piece.
Still took 5 minutes every time they took a throw in there.
It did. And, they got what they come for. We got the equaliser. And then at half, you're thinking, coming half time, we'll come out second half, get on the front foot, push them back and take the game away from them. And it didn't happen again. Lucas, why didn't it happen? What happened? You play, you're quite a young lad, but you studied the game a lot. One of the things that Lucas does is study formations, how teams play. He does deep dives into analytics of how different teams play. What did you pick out of that? If you were to talk about, Lucas, where we went wrong and what Forest were doing to stop us from playing, what fill us in.
I think what's killing Wolves the most at the minute for the past 2 games is Gary's changes to go to sideways and backwards football, because there's so many times in the Burnley game especially, we'd be going on a counter-attack, we'd look at no one's there, we were scared of the taking on the man, we'd turn back and just pass it. So when they're compact, they're just like breaking us down, so then we have to go back and they're getting them forward and putting the pressure on.
Yeah. So I did notice, like my dad referred to it and sensation, we were like crabs going side to side a lot. And we saw that sort of football, sadly to say, under Bruno Lage. That's the sort of thing that we were doing. And one of the things, Gary O'Neill's done really, really well for us. We've had injuries to Neto, Aït-Nouri. We've had suspensions with Lamina and Gomez. We've had Dawson out. We've had the incident with Johnny Otto. He's now suspended, not going to be involved with the first team squad till the end of January, which basically says to me that he's going to go in January. And if he's still here, they might integrate him in again. We've got a small squad. We've got limited options on the bench. And I will want to talk about the substitutions as well. But one of the things that Gary O'Neill has said, which was really good when he said on that Monday Night Football, he has a way he wants to play with a bar that's up here, how he wants to play against certain teams. But he looks at the tactics and he adjusts that down depending on, like, if you're playing City or, Liverpool or whatever, to get results. He saw that work against City and Tottenham. So the question that I'm wondering is, if he's got a bar up there, why are we dropping that bar down to here for like Forest and Burnley? Surely there's an option for games like that where we can tweak it and go back to a back four, put an extra man in midfield, or do that as well and play more towards the bar where he wants to be, because we've got to try and get the overloads to create the space. Like what you said, if you've got an extra man in midfield as well, you can create that, because let's face it, Burnley were creating next to nothing. We were controlling the game, but we still had 3 defenders on the pitch and 2 fullbacks that were not getting up the pitch enough. So, surely that's an opportunity where we should have changed it. He brings off, obviously, Mario Lamina on 60 minutes. Understand that, because he's worrying about his hamstring. I did think, again, when he came off, we lost. I always think when Boubacar Traoré comes on the pitch, and Josh, you've been a lot of the away games, Crystal Palace away, various games, he seems to take 10 to 15 minutes to me to get up to the game. The start against Arsenal, for the first 10 and 15, 20 minutes, he was lost. And then he gets up to the pace of the game and he's kind of on it. He doesn't seem to get up to the pace quickly enough. And also, I saw yesterday was surely the sort of game where you bring Tommy Doyle on, who makes these forward positive passes, and he never brought him on. And then he brings on Sasha Kalajic, The board's up for 4 minutes of added time. What a waste of time of bringing Sasha Kalajic on for 4 minutes at the end. If you're going to bring him on, at least give him 10, 15 minutes to bring him on. What's he going to do in 4 minutes? It doesn't change anything. Forest saw the game out. And in fact, they could have won it. And as much as I sing the praises and some of the things that we've done, there are some questionable tactics and decisions that were made yesterday, Josh. And we got away with it against Burnley.
I think, so yesterday we got away with it massively. There was the chance, cannon the crossbar. There was the chance about 10 minutes after that where I don't know how they've not headed that in the North Bank.
Yeah, it was just right in front of us. It was just literally, I thought it was a goal when it was coming across, and it just went a foot over the bar and scored.
The only thing I'll say on the last two performances, and you're sure against Sheffield United as well, and people can say, it's the manager's tactics, but it's happened. There's 3 managers now in the Premier League. As soon as a team sticks 11 men behind the ball against us, we cannot break them down, and we never have been able to break them down. But I don't know what it is. It's happened under Nuno, it's happened under Bruno, and it's happened under Gary. As soon as 11 men go behind that ball in the opposition team in their own half, that's why it's going backwards and forwards.
But Josh,
can't break them down.
But Josh, I agree with you completely as regards to that. But we showed we can do it with the goal that we scored. Why didn't we do more of that in the second half, Lucy?
I've got no idea, mate. To be honest, I don't understand our thinking. We've always been a team who plays this way. Against the big teams, we go all out, we attack, we defend for our lives. Against the lower teams who we know we should beat every single time, we just go on the defence. And yesterday, they just didn't seem up to speed whatsoever at all. It was awful. I just don't understand it.
And to be fair, it was a little bit monotonous, and it wasn't exactly the most exciting game. The Burnley game wasn't very exciting. We got the job done. Now, the caveat that I want to put on this, Chris, he was positive about Tottenham. You were positive about Manchester City, that we get the result. But after we've got these sort of results and we're at home against Burnley and Forest, there is a level of there's a level of low expectation against City and like that. But we all go, it's the sort of team it's the sort of game that Wolves will go and win, because that's what Wolves do. And then when we play Burnley and Forest at home, if Burnley come off a 5-0 win, it was against Sheffield United, and they got a bit of confidence and they got another good result away at Brighton yesterday. So, they're turning the corner. And then we're playing Forest, who are a team, fighting for the life. There is a level of expectation here that's going to be there, that we should roll these teams out, but they're not going to be easy to do. And I do feel that we seem to loosen up against the Cities and the Tottenhams and play the games but we tend to hold back for whatever reason, whereas we should be doing what Fulham's doing, like the last 2 games, 5-0. When was the last time? Can anyone tell me the last time we won we scored 3, 4 or 5-0 against anyone in the Premier League? I can't remember it. I'd love to know.
Watford the Town.
Watford the Town. What was
January last year?
Was that 3-0?
4.
4-0. Okay, so it's a long time, and
I think,
but before the game, I wanted 6 points, but I said a minimum of 4 points. So we have got the 4 points. But the concern for me is, one, the lethargic start to the game. And Gary O'Neill, I think, says they're a little bit tired and everything. It's like, yeah, okay, they're a little bit tired. But every other team has these problems. Okay, our squad depth, we've got injuries. Some teams have got more injuries than any. Look at the likes of Tottenham and Newcastle and stuff. I know they've got probably bigger squad, but they've got injuries. But we've still got players that are like Tommy Doyle, that didn't even get on the pitch. Sasha Kalajic, that got 4 minutes. If your players are tired, why are we leaving it that late? Chris, you're nodding.
Yeah, I my only criticism of Gary O'Neill so far is his bewildering use of substitutes. You've brought Traore now on and got him surging down the right wing. He was doing it far too often for it to be just a tactical opening that he ends up there all the time. He'd been purposely told to go down that right wing. He put some belters of crosses in, to be fair to him. Got nobody there. Why didn't we bring Sasa on at that point where we're not using the three guys up front playing off each other, which I like the way they play, and we're changing it because we're going to go down the ring across the ball. We need to bring Sasa on. Whether he's going to edit or not is another thing, but you've got to try and change it. I'm also puzzled about this choice of subs and the fact that he doesn't ever use them. So, talk about Fabio, he's not even getting on the pitch.
He won't play again.
So, if he's not getting on the pitch, why pick him?
Why have him on the subs bench at all?
Exactly. The young lad, Churu, I'd rather him put him on for 4 minutes and get a bit of experience than Sasa. I just don't see what he's trying to do. It was crying out for Tommy Doyle, somebody to get the ball and ping it out to the wingers, fullbacks, or whatever they were called yesterday, to get down the wing. He could have switched the play and moved the ball about quick, because when you've got teams that are doing that block, and it's all right to play that game and struggle against them, because let's face it, that's what we did against Man City most of the time. They couldn't break us down, so it's not a Wolves are crap thing. That's just football. But when you've got people doing that, you need somebody that can get the ball and move it quickly, because you can move the ball quicker than a player can run. And that's what Tommy Doyle could have done. But what we do is we don't do that. We pass it, Semedo, Kilman, Dawson. By that time, they're back in shape. Then we give it to Totti, who's got somebody bearing down, and it gives it to Bueno, bang. That's what was happening. So I do question substitutes and utilising them. Let's get kids. Let's get kids on. Let's get these Chihuahuas and these other players on, and let them have a go, because we're putting people on the bench that he's not going to play. Mm-hmm. He's definitely not playing Fabio anymore.
And do you know where we got our goal? Where we got our goal from? Because we were slow. The second they scored, the intensity level of the Wolves team went up 2 or 3 notches. We started moving the ball a lot faster. We were pulling them around because we were moving the ball faster from side to side, pushing through the middle. We were making them think, and there was an intensity in our play. And because of the intensity, we got the goal, because they couldn't, it all clicked into place. And the frustration is that we didn't. I don't know whether he did. I mean, Gary O'Neill, you'd hope he'd say at half time, hey guys, we got the goal through doing what we've been doing in training. The movement and the intensity was there. That's what we need to carry on into the second half. Do that. These are there for the taking. If we'd have got in the lead, then we would have got probably 2 or 3 more, because they'd have had to opened up. But It never happened. And the thing that frustrated me was because it didn't happen. And then Lamina went off. Boubacar comes on like Boubacar does. I like the lad. I do like him. He always gives a lot of effort, but he seems to be lost, as I've said, for 10 to 15 minutes. The initiative changed. And then it was Forest that were controlling the game and taking control of the game. And like you said, they had a couple of clear, really good opportunities to win the game. Had they scored, there's no way we were going to get back into it and get another goal, because we didn't. We wouldn't have done. But Lucas,
he didn't freshen it up though, Dave.
I know
these teams are continually freshening their front attacking midfielders. They're changing most of the midfields and some of the strikers when we play against them, and we're not doing it. I mean, we bring Bellegarde. I
like Bellegarde.
I'm not sure what he actually does.
I like Bellegarde, but for me, it was crying out for Tommy Doyle to come on. I mean, Lucas, am I talking crap? Would you have changed it to a back 4 and gone at an extra midfielder? I mean, like, what are your thoughts? What needed to happen there? Or is it just a problem that Wolves have got because of the depth and talented squad that we've got, that we're just going to have to accept that against teams that just sit back against us, we're just going to struggle to break them down, and it's going to be a bit lethargic and slow?
Some managers voted for having 5 subs, but Wolves are only, in the past 3 games, I think it is, we've only been using 3 to 4 subs. So that means we've still got one player that could be making an impact. Like you're saying, Tommy Doyle should be coming on with the through balls that he did against Spurs. So if we just had one of them and gave, even if he brought Fabio on just for that hold-up play, and then so he overlaps him, through ball into Sassa's goal straight away. But they did have Willy Bolly on the pitch, which does have height. But Willy Bolly wasn't on anything with Sassa when Sassa come on. I think there was one free kick, and Sassa wasn't getting marked by Bolly. So even if Fabio did come on, Bolly wouldn't have been there to be on Sassa. So it was just one free ball, it's headed goal.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you know, whatever you say about Fabio Silva, whether you like him, whether you don't, whether your time is up and all of that sort of jazz, I do agree with what Chris is saying. If the lad's on the bench, he's a forward player, we're looking to get a goal. You've got Tommy Doyle, who has, when he's come on, has not let us down. He turned the game. I mean, that ball within 5 minutes of him coming on against Luton, forward pass. He's always looking forward, Tommy Doyle. Gomez, does what Gomez does, gets in the tacket, and Boubacar. But we needed a midfielder that was going to sort of look to really get those diagonal forward balls, to get the wing backs going and get the overlaps going, and to move the ball quickly. And Tommy Doyle, they got another example of Tommy Doyle that I want to bring on as well is the winning goal against Tottenham Hotspur. Lemina wins the free kick, but Tommy Doyle straight away gets the free kick. He plays the ball in one pass out to Sarabia, and Sarabia cuts inside. Lemina makes the run again, and we score the goal. It come from Tommy Doyle, quick thinking, forward pass, get us away. And I think the midfielders that we had on the pitch, and the mentality we had, weren't looking other than that one ball. I think was it Lemina that played the ball through to Sarabia.
Mm-hmm.
He was off the pitch. And Sarabia is good for making those runs. Because we had no midfielder that was looking to that, they stopped making the runs in the second half because they weren't. I saw many times Wang made the run and a few, and he was putting his hand up, he was running across the line. The ball went sideways rather than giving him a chance to get onto it. And if the forwards, the wide players are making those runs and then picked out, they stop making the runs. And
Dave, I haven't seen the figures, but I'd be staggered if Wang hadn't ran more than anybody else on Saturday, because he was running all over the place. But
he was trying to make the runs, wasn't he? He wasn't getting the ball. And a Tommy Doyle would have got in that ball. I mean, we'll wait and see. I mean, Fabio Silva didn't come on the pitch forward. People say maybe he wouldn't have done nothing. Maybe he would. Sasha Kalajis, 4 minutes to go. Lemina, that's an enforced change. Who else? Bellegarde came on for Sarabia, so it's kind of a like for like. Sarabia again, he did, get the assist for the goal. So you can't, his assists and goals, he's starting to come. Cunha, again, the last 5 games, assists and goals, he's starting to come good. So there are good things that are happening. But if you get the right balls into the likes of Sarabia, into the likes of Wang, into the likes of Cunha, and you move it quicker, you open even the most stubbornest of low block defences, and you get the goal. We just stopped doing it, and they stopped eventually making the runs, which was frustrating. Josh, just before we get on, I do want to come on to the next part of the thing. I do want to let people, remind people, if I can, about one of our partners, which are NordVPN. And I want to talk about them because you're coming up to Christmas. And they have got, at the moment, an exclusive Christmas deal for Always Wolves subscribers. If you use the link in the description below, you can save big and get 4 months extra. You basically go through, which is a better deal than you can get anywhere else on their site. It works out at £2.30 a month. It's £64 for 2 years plus an extra 3 months instead of almost 190. You can put your NordVPN on your Fire Stick, on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone, and on every device in your house. And when you want to watch your programs from your American or you want to watch your football, you can put it on your TV as well. And if you're going on any winter sun holidays, you can get it on there. It's absolutely fantastic. I've got it. I use it. It's really, really good. And that's a great offer. The link is in the description below. Right. Let's go on now to Lucy. I want, Lucy, for you to give me your highlight of the week from Bournemouth and Forest, or whatever else it might be. I want your performance rating for the weekend, and I want your man of the match for the weekend as well, please.
Oh, it's a tricky one. I think yesterday would be a 5.5.
A 5.5?
Yeah, simply because I was bored for the majority of the game. To score a goal and to feel a bit of, exhilaration for 5 minutes was great. The rest of it was just cack, absolute crap.
Yeah.
Man of the match, I think I'm going to give it to Sarabia.
Sarabia, okay.
Yeah.
Explain why.
I don't know. He made some decent runs with the ball yesterday, and he tried. It just didn't seem that the others were trying very hard. But that's the only thing I picked up on yesterday. But moments is Thursday night when we went out. It was nothing to do with the football. It was for charity, and we had an absolutely superb night. And I'm so grateful for the invite.
Oh well, you're such a sweetie for saying that, and we did have a good night, didn't we?
We did. Your dad dancing, brilliant.
He enjoyed himself as well, which was nice to see. Cheering up, because of course it's going to be personally for me and the family, my dad and everything. It's going to be a tough couple of weeks. Obviously, losing my mum about 4 months ago. It's my mum's birthday next week. Well, this week coming. So that's tough. And then we've got Christmas, and it's the first one without her. So it's really tough. We're going to look after my dad. We're going to go out for a meal at somewhere that my mum really loved for her birthday, and we're going to have Dad with us on Christmas Day to make sure that he's got family close. But it's when I think about it, I'm getting emotional thinking about it because it is tough. Yeah. Without my mom, miss her really a lot. So, Josh, your highlight of the week, the games, your man of the match, your performance rating.
So highlight of the week, same as Lucy's, the Wolves All Stars charity deal on Thursday night, and get to meet everybody. And hopefully, by the looks of it, from the money that was being chucked in the raffle ticket bucket, it looks like it's to have raised quite a bit of money, hopefully, for some charities. That was a really good night. Man of the match for yesterday, I'm probably going to go Sarabia, although it was close with Gomez. But I'm going to go Sarabia. The fact he got the goal. First half, he looked like he was making a lot of movement, trying to recycle the ball from midfield and get it forward. Match rating is a 5.
Match rating a 5. Over to you, Lucas.
I think man of the match is Cunha. It's just something that can drop, and I saw it a lot. He was dropping into midfield, helping the midfield and supporting the midfield. I think the rating was a 4.5, and the highlight was the anti-VAR protest.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the VAR protest. Actually, I did a little video up on that. That was organised by the old Gold Pack. There was banners around, just outside the subway. There was obviously there was flyers given out. It was a bit of a protest, but there wasn't really many cards that were in the stadium. It didn't. I mean, you saw the Everton one where everyone had these cards for Everton and stuff like that. And I think it, the club, I guess, doesn't get directly involved with it because, like, if you wanted everyone to hold them up, you put them on the seats, not give them out before the game. And because they were giving them out, it never really made much of an impact. Yeah. And I know there's money been raised and money spent and stuff like that, but I don't really think it didn't get picked up by the media. There was not enough cards in the stands for it to even get.
There was a couple of news outlets that picked it up.
Did it? Who picked it
up? Yeah, Daily Mail.
Oh, good.
There was about 3 or 4. In the end, they all picked it up. They just put it on like a sub page on the website. But I don't think
get a lot of
all this noise
any real sort of. I mean, it's a protest because of everything that's gone up and towards. I mean, like, I'm not anti-VAR personally. I'm not like get rid of it. I'm not in that camp of getting rid of VAR because you can argue to get rid of it as much as you like. It's not going anywhere. VAR is not going to be got rid of. There's no point having a campaign as one club in the Premier League to get rid of VAR because of some bad decisions. The thing for me is VAR is a tool to make the game better, and it's the tools that use the damn thing that are the problem and how it's being used. If you get like, someone behind a car who can drive a car properly and drives properly around the road, or you get an idiot that just spins the car around and drives into a flipping bin or something like that, it's the same sort of thing. A machine and a tool is only as good as the people that use it, and that's the thing that seems to have been affecting Wolves. Whether we've talked about this a lot, so VAR needs to be massively improved in how it's implemented. I don't think you can be for VAR and against VAR, and you can have an opinion on that, like you can have an opinion on everything. But the fact of the matter is, you can huff and puff and say get rid all you want. It is not going anywhere. So the thing that we need to do is highlight, for me, is how it's implemented and used, and push on that and educate and push back on the people, like get ex-footballers in, independent people in, maybe refs from overseas, all of that sort of stuff. So there's seemed to be, I mean, you look at the World Cup, and we've talked about that many, many times, and hardly any incidents at all with the use of it. But over in the Premier League, we've had a lot of it. Let's hope we don't see any more for Wolves, or we get some in our favour. But we just like the message, enough is enough, give us back our football, all of those sort of sentiments are the right message.
Yeah.
Like we've done the T-shirt, haven't we? VAR, apologise. VAR, error, apology, repeat, which again, there's a link in the thing below. That's kind of what the cycle that we go on with Wolves. But Lucas, it's a good point that you raised, because we ought to talk about what was your thought on the protest, the thing you highlighted as a highlight. What was your thought?
I think it's to get the fans' point of view across, because Howard Webb can come out and do like all the TV shows in the world, but he's not listening to the fans' decisions of what they think should be the outcome. But even I saw after the Man United game, when Onana wiped out Sasa, some even United fans are saying it's a penalty. I know Howard Webb came out and said it was a penalty, but he needs to be interacting with the fans up more. I know at the Women's World Cup they were speaking through the speakers, the referees, when they gave the VAR decision. So even if they had that to hear why they gave the decision.
They didn't give the decision though, did they? They just said it's this decision, like when they point. There was no, in the Women's World Cup, there was no, this is why it's being given. It was awarded decision, penalty, awarded decision, not a penalty. I think that what they did in that was pointless. It needs to be.
Basically, they just read what they put on the screen, is what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, Chris, on the VAR thing, you obviously you're nodding and shaking there. What was your thought of that yesterday? And we will come on. I mean, we just stopped a little bit to talk about that, which I think's right. I mean, you're involved with the trust, and the trusts are involved with the FSA. I don't know if you.
So trust donated what I thought was a considerable bit of money towards.
How much?
I'm not telling you, Dave, because I don't know whether I should be telling you, so I'm not going to. I'll find out and let you know next week. But it was a reasonable amount, and I'm not so sure what we did on Saturday was very effective. I turned around and had a look in the stadium. I couldn't see many placards up where I was sat. Anyway, I don't know whether because the club seemed unwilling to let them put placards out and they had collection points and people just head down cold, get in the ground and didn't even see the stuff. I don't know. It didn't seem to be that widespread.
No.
Personally, this isn't a trust view, but my own view, and we spoke about this, I would have done something completely different. I'd have brought whistles in and blown them like mad just to make the biggest statement you could have done. You probably got in trouble for it, but you know that's how I saw it. I'm not so sure what we did Saturday is going to change the price of fish. Basically, I think wasn't widely reported. Yeah, Josh is right. It was out. It was publicised a couple of times, but it
wasn't as big as they intended it to be by the looks of it.
No, it was a bit of a damp squib. It actually reflected the 90 minutes of football I watched quite well, I think, to be fair, on Saturday.
Non-existent.
Yeah. On the match ratings, if that's what you're going to ask. It's a 4 from me, Dave. I think we need to understand, and I don't think this is a management team, I think it's the players, that they need to be more expansive and more direct and faster on the ball than they were on Saturday. They were far too slow and lethargic. I think lethargic would be a good word for the performance. So I couldn't really give it any more than that. One bit of football we played, we scored a goal from, but we failed to actually reproduce anything like that football for the rest of the match. The goal was a mistake. Their goal was a mistake. Totally got in a right mess, didn't he, and put us into trouble. I've seen people on social media blaming Sarr for the goal. I can't quite, for the life of me, work out what that's about. And Sarr made a great save
from the
pretty
Kilman
soon
mistake,
afterwards.
yeah.
Kilman dropped him right in it. And to be fair, there's a lot of people that say that they want Bentley in goal. I don't think Bentley would have come out and stopped that.
I don't know. I think he might have done, mate. He made a very similar save last week. He made a double save.
I think he's no. I don't think they were the same. I think they were good range shot blocks, and they were good saves what he did the week before. But that was an instinctive get out, get down, and yeah. I
do think if anyone like a Chris Woods on that ball, though, that's in the back of the net, no matter who's in goal.
I was
good job. It was Arte.
I was crapping it when he came on. To be honest, I thought
to me as well.
He's going to come on and bang a goal in here because the game had changed. Man of the match, I agree with Josh and Lucy. I've got to give it to Sarabia. He's gone from being somebody that I thought Lopetegui had brought in. He's not happy. He's waving his arms around. I don't really know what he's going to do here on. He seems to have come out of that the other side in the last 6 or so games. He's been great. He's really showed his worth to me, and I think he's been a great signing. And if he carries on the way he is, he just gives us another dimension. The front three, I think, are working great for us. Highlights. My highlight was Thursday night, but not for meeting everybody. That's a given because we were all meeting. But the highlight for me was seeing Don Goodman doing Bruce Forsyth impressions, which was hilarious.
That was actually
that was a really funny thing.
It was cracky.
Quite funny. Right, guys, we're going to move on to the penalty shootout to finish off the show. Just before I get on to that, I do want to remind everyone that you can get your Christmas baubles for your tree, and I have got some on my tree just there, if you can see, and your Christmas crackers for your Christmas dinner. I've got to tell you this, the 12 Days of Christmas campaign is taking place at the moment on the FOCO website, which I will share with you. You can get your slippers, your Molyneux Brixall. But if you look here, the Wolves Plus Throw that I talked about, the blankets reduced from £35 to £25, and it's really warm. The baubles are reduced from £15 to £8. The crackers are reduced from £15 to £8. And your holiday pajamas, your Wolves pajim jams, they are reduced from £30 to £15 as well. So there's other things on there. The gnomes are sold out at the moment, so get on there quick before everything sells out. The link's in the description below. And there are, if you've got people that are fans of other clubs, there are discounts on fans of other clubs as well. And anything that's not discounted, use always Wolves 15 and you'll get yourself a discount on that as well. But there's only, I think, 2 or 3 days left of the 12 days of Christmas offer. So if you're going to get these heavy discounts, you need to get on it like pretty much straight away. Right, let's get on to the penalty shootout quiz.
Hey, did you wait till after 9 o'clock to show your balls on the channel as well?
Oh, mate, you're hilarious, aren't you? You're hilarious. Right, I'm going to spin. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, I've done these one before, so I just want to. That hasn't worked. I want to make sure that it's going to be some. Let's do. We're going to do captains. Okay. So to start with, so everyone's got 3 penalties, right? So this is going to go over onto the next one. We're going to go over on 3 penalties each, and this is going to see who becomes this week's Always Wolves quiz champion. So, Lucas, as you're making a full debut today, you can decide whether you want to go first, second, third, or fourth.
I'll go second.
Second. Lucy, as you've got the golden smile, you can decide whether you want to go first, third, or fourth.
Third.
Third.
Third. Yeah.
Third. Okay. And as Josh seems to be paying attention at the moment, you can decide whether you want to go first or fourth.
I'll go first.
I thought I was going first there. That's why I was like, oh, okay.
I'll go for it.
Right,
Well
before we get started, guys, who are you rooting for and who do you think is going to win in the chat? You've got like 5 or 10 seconds. I want Golden Girl, Cheerful, Josh, or Lucas. Who's gonna be your winner? So Peter Walsh is going Brave Josh. Who else have we got coming down here? Carl Whitehouse is going Come On Josh. Smudge, Come On Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's so far. Come on, everyone, put your favourite who you're going to win. Hold on, I'm calling out Lucas. There's one person. We've got Golden Girl there, Josh, Golden Girl, Chris. You ain't getting many votes, mate.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I'm the Man City of the quiz, Dave. I can expect it. You know, that's what it is.
Is anyone rooting for Cheerful? And did we come up with a nickname for Josh? Hold on. Andrew Knight says, with age comes wisdom. Come on, Chris.
Hold on, mate.
Tim's going for the Golden Girl. You got someone, Andrew Knight. Right, let's do this then. So, Lucy, you're going first with the first penalty. Am I correct?
No.
Not me.
Oh, Josh is going with the first penalty.
Well, the hell, need VAR here with this referee.
Here we go. Oh, Paul Harris is going for you
arguing.
as well, mate. Paul Harris is going for you as well. So you got 2. Okay. Josh.
Yeah.
Places the ball on the spot in front of the baying crowd. Who was the first Wolves captain and the only goal scorer when they won the FA Cup final in 1892-93? Was it Harry Allen, Harry Wood, Billy Rose, or Jack Addenbrooke?
What was the first 2?
Harry Allen, Harry Wood, Billy Rose, Jack Addenbrooke.
The first one.
Are you locking in Harry Allen?
Yeah.
You're locking it in.
Yep.
Nicely tucked away. He tucks it away.
Well
in
done,
the
Josh.
corner.
Absolute guess that was.
Well
That was
done.
a
Yeah.
brilliant one.
Well, there was 2 Harrys, so that was a clue on it. But
Yeah.
Right. Golden Girl.
No, Lucas.
Lucas. You're third, aren't you? Lucas. Who was the Wolves captain when they won the FA Cup final in 1907, 1908? Was it Kenneth Hunt? Was it George Headley? Was it Billy Harrison? Or was it Billy Woodridge?
Is it Billy Harrison?
You've hit the post. It's a living good guess. It was Billy Woodridge. You had a 50-50 there, didn't you? You picked the wrong one, I'm guessing. So he hits the post. That means that it is you next, isn't it, Lucy, the Golden Girl?
Yes.
Okay. Lucy, who was the Wolves captain when they won the FA Cup in 1948-49 and who was also the captain when they were champions of the First Division 3 times in the 50s? Was it Bert Williams, Johnny Hancock, Billy Wright or Jesse Pye?
Billy Wright.
Smacked it in the top corner, Lucy. Smack. Puts it away. Right, cheerful.
Right.
He was, yeah, well done. You no messing. Cheerful. Who was the Wolves captain when they won the FA Cup final in 1959-60? Was it Ron Flowers? Was
Bill
it Billy
Slater?
Was it Billy Wright or
Bill
Pete
Slater.
Gordon? Bill Slater.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know what? He's Rabona, the keeper.
Again.
Yeah, he's literally Rabona'd him. So, Josh, you've got 1 yet.
Yeah.
Lucas, 0 out of 1. Lucy, 1 out of 1. Cheerful, 1 out of 1. Okay. Josh, second pen. Ball's on the spot. Who was the Wolves captain in both legs of the UEFA Cup final when they lost to Tottenham Hotspur in 1971-72? Was it Phil Parkes? Was it Jim McCalliog? Was it Kenny Ibbott? Or was it Derek Dugan?
Oh. I'm thinking one of the latter two.
So the latter two are Kenny Ibbott and Derek Dugan.
Who are the first two again?
The first two, Phil Parkes, Jim McCalliog. I need to hurry you.
Sod it, Phil Parkes. Changed my mind.
You're going for Phil Parkes. And unfortunately, Phil Parkes was in goal and he has saved your penalty. So it's a saved penalty. Lucas.
Duke.
Back onto you.
Was it the Duke, Dave? You didn't say.
Oh, yeah. Was it the Duke? No, it was Jim McCalliog.
Was it? Yeah.
Jim McCalliog. Sorry about that. Lucas, who was the Wolves captain when they won the Football League Cup final in 1973-74? Was it Mike Bailey, Jeff Palmer, Derek Parkin, or Kenny Ibbott?
Kenny Ibbott.
It's you've hit it over the bar. It was Mike Bailey. It is a bit before your time, to be fair, but it was it was our last but one major trophy. It was Mike Bailey. So 0 out of 2, Lucas. Sadly, then we're on to the Golden Girl, who's currently got a 100% record. Golden Girl. Who was the Wolves captain when they won the Football League Cup final in 1979-80? Was it Jeff Palmer? Was it Derek Parkin? Was it Kenny Ibbott? Or was it Emlyn Hughes?
I'm going to go Emily Hughes.
Whoa! The Golden Girl is on fire tonight. She's shimmering in the light like a golden girl she is. 2 out of 2. 1 step away from a clean sweep. So that puts you in the lead at this stage. Cheerful. The pressure comes back onto you. Who was the Wolves captain when they won the Associate Members Cup final, then known as the Sherpa Van Trophy final, in 1987-88?
Ali Robertson.
Are you sure you want to think about it? You don't want to. You don't want to go Mark
that's the
Kendall,
answer,
Floyd Street, or Keith Elliott?
It's Ali Robertson Day.
You know what? The keeper's not even set, and he's just turned and hit it past him through his legs. 2 out of 2. Right then, Josh, your third and final penalty. You have to get this and hope that either Lucy or Cheerful miss their next penalty to go to sudden death.
Yep.
So, who was the Wolves captain when they won the First Division playoff final in 2003 to gain promotion to the Premier League for the first time? Was it
two of these names come up?
This is a hard one, Josh, because those two names are going to come up.
Two of them lifted it. We should
both with the name of Paul.
Yeah, Paul Linton, Paul Butler.
Okay. So, is it Matt Murray, Dennis Irwin, Paul Lynch, or Jolyon Lescott?
Oh, Paul Linton.
Correct answer. 2 out of 3.
Two Josh was think alike.
This one's more down your level, Lucas. Who did Connor Cody take over from as club captain in 2018? Was it Matt Doherty, Ruben Neves, Danny Barth, or John Runney?
Danny Barth.
Correct answer. 1 out of 3. Congratulations. You got that one. It does mean that you will be eliminated at this stage, but you can be an adjudicator with me for the rest. And that means that the pressure is... Lucy, you're on 2 out of 3, aren't you? 2 out of 2. 3... Yeah. Pardon? 2 out of 2?
2 out of 2, yeah.
2 out of 2. Chris, this is your third penalty? It's your third penalty, isn't it?
No, it's Lucy next.
My next.
Oh, it's you next, is it? Yeah.
Me and Lucy have got one more question. We're both on 2, and Josh has got 2, but he's had all his questions.
That's right, yeah. So, that's where
Stockley Park over.
That's okay. Right, Lucy. Which Wolves player scored a hat-trick on his home debut in March 1967? Was it Derek Dugan, Mike Bailey, Kenny Hibbitt, or Dave Wagstaff scoring a hat-trick?
I'm going to go with Dugan.
Mike Bailey, Kenny Hibbitt, or Dave Wagstaff?
The Duke.
Are you locking that in?
Yeah.
You don't sound very confident, Lucy.
I'm not, because it's way before my time. But
what's your process of elimination? Why you've gone for Derek Dugan?
He's the one that my dad, one of my dad's heroes, so just picked him out of the hat, I suppose.
And he was a striker.
Well, yeah. That always helps.
I have to tell you, Lucy, this is a much better appearance than your last match because you have a clean sweep. You've put it past the keeper again. It's 3 out of 3.
Yay!
3. And do you know what that means, don't you?
What?
It's all down to this last question.
It's all down to Chris now.
Yeah. So does Chris.
He's going to answer straight away again.
Chris, you're on 2 out of 2 at the moment.
Yes, Dave.
Okay. Right, okay. Chris, to take this through to sudden death against Lucy, or forever have Lucy be able to tell you she beat you at Always Wolves.
Sometimes you have to be a gentleman, Dave.
Yeah, just get your excuses in now. In what year did Derek Parkin, Wolves' most capped player, make his debut for the club? Was it 1967, 1968, 1969, or 1970? To take it to sudden death, you have to tuck this one away. Not so confident on this one, Lucy.
No.
67, 68, 69, or 70?
Interesting. I'm going to go 68.
You going 1968?
Yeah.
He's tucked it away. He's given the keeper the eyes. Unbelievable. Just when the pressure is off, he gets a 95th minute. 90 plus 5. Lucas, who do we think's going to take it? Lucy or Chris? Hey?
I think Lucy.
Josh, who do you think's going to take it?
I'm going to go with Chris. Sorry, Lucy. I'm going to go 50-50 here.
Guys in the chat, who's going to win it?
It's a fluke tonight, I think.
Hold on, just answering the guy in the thing. It's always Walls 15 for the thingy. So we've got Peter Walsh, who's I think is a Forest fan that's rooting for you as well. So next question. Okay, which Wolves player scored on his debut in September 1979 against the club he would eventually move to after leaving for Wolves? After leaving Wolves 4 years later. So which Wolves player scored on his debut in September 1979 against the club he would eventually move to after leaving Wolves 4 years later? Is it Emily News, Mel Eves, Andy Gray, or Willie Carr?
Is that Lucy's question?
Yeah, Lucy's question. So think about the League Cup.
Where did he move to?
No. Which player scored on his debut for Wolves in September 1979 against the club he would eventually move to after leaving Wolves 4 years later? This is 1979. Think about what happened in 1979. Emily News, Mel Eves, and 79 and 80 season. Andy Gray, Willie Carr.
Mel Eves.
Are you sure you want to say Mel Eves and not think about who the goal scorer was in the 1980 League Cup final?
I've got no clue, Dave. So,
who scored the goal in the 1980 League Cup final? Can you remember?
no idea. I wasn't born, so I don't know.
Okay, so are you going with Mel Eves then?
Yeah, I'll go with Mel.
Josh, what was it, Lucas?
I wanted to say Andy Gray.
Lucas?
I think I'll agree with Josh.
It was Andy Gray. Andy Gray scored the winning goal against Forest, would you believe, as well, who we just played the weekend in the League Cup final. So, Chris.
Come on.
To win it. Steve Bull scored on his England debut in May 1989 against which team?
Well, that's an incorrect question, Dave. The answer you're looking for in that book is Scotland, but he actually scored on his debut against Tunisia in a friendly, but that's fine.
Okay, we'll ask you another question. In that case, it does say Scotland.
It is Scotland, but he scored for England. England beats.
Yeah, okay, well, you've eliminated that, so we're not going to count that one. So I'm going to go with a different one.
Go on.
Okay, here we go. Which Wolves player scored a hat-trick on his debut in an away game against Birmingham City in September 1992?
Yeah, the young lad.
I can give you multiple choice.
Yeah, give me the multiple choices. I'll get it.
David Kelly, Paul Cutt, Paul Birch, Darren Roberts.
Darren Roberts.
Lucy, absolutely you know, you're runner up. What can I say? That's a big improvement in it. Big improvement. Well done, Chris. You retain. You get your title back. Lucas, it was a bit hard on you because some of the questions were like, you know, from like medieval times and stuff like that, mate. But,
like me and Josh saw Bill Skater and Mike Bailey play, Dave. We're still before our time.
You said you were there Bill Slater's debut, Chris.
Yeah, I was sat next to you. You took me in as a child.
Anyway, you've done really well, all of you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And basically, this is a bit like better late than never. Lucy is right. We're going to trance against teams that we should do better. But fantastic. Lucas, have you enjoyed your full debut?
Yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Been a bit of a laugh. Lucy, you proud of yourself getting to runners up? You got past Josh?
I am dead excited.
Josh, you were correct. You called it Cheerful would get it in the end, and he did very well. He's very knowledgeable, so you're always up against it with Chris.
Very.
Listen,
some people
guys,
say I'm sad, Dave, but I do know a little bit.
You do know a little bit. Lucas, will you come on again as for us?
Yeah, 100%.
Fantastic. Don't forget, guys, get the offers off NordVPN and our partners, FOCO. Lots of Wolves licensed merchandise. You can scan the QR code. The link's in the description below. Also, our VAR T-shirt is for sale. I know quite a few of you have bought that. Can't wait to see some photographs of that. It's fantastic. Well done to Emma on that. And again, once again, a big thank you to Creation Wolf for powering extra time. And if you are new around here, please consider subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Loads more content coming up all over Christmas. And if you've enjoyed tonight's podcast, please smash a like. If you're watching it back on catch up on any of the platforms, leave your comments. And if you're listening to it on the Always Wolves podcast, leave your comments in there. I say all the descriptions are good. Just looking ahead now, quickly, Josh, to West Ham. Do you have a score prediction for us?
I don't know now because it's the third team in a row before we played and they've been smashed 5-0. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Cheerful.
I think it'll be a bit different this match, Dave. I think although West Ham are pretty poor at the moment, I do think they attack people. I don't think they'll sit back and try and...
they are at home.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they'll sit back. I think they'll have a go. They're just not very good at the moment. Bit off more than they could chew. I think with Europe and stuff with the squad, and I think we'll do better there.
So, what's your score prediction?
3-0.
3-0. Bloody hell, Lucy, your score prediction for West Ham?
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
For the Wanderers. And Lucas, finally, are you going to give us a score prediction on what we can expect from West Ham against Wolves?
I think it's going to be 3-2 Wolves. Dawson last-minute header.
Oh, that would be beautiful. I like. Oh, yeah, because of course.
Nice one, Lucas.
That would be beautiful.
If that happens, they won't be blowing bubbles, but they might be foaming at the mouth.
Oh, that would be. What sort of what we're going to expect from West Ham in terms of the shape, Lucas? Against Wolves,
non-stop press all game.
Yeah, Dawson last-minute winner. Oh, how beautiful would that be? And then we could the Ballon Dawson. I like that. I love that. Of course, going back to his old club because they did love him. There's your score predictions, guys. Obviously, we'll have all the coverage running up in terms of the match preview. We'll have the Gary O'Neill press conference. We'll be down there at the London Stadium, getting you with the match vlog. We'll be doing instant reaction after the game. We'll have the IFR. We'll have extra time next Sunday. We'll have loads of content coming up during the week as well. Coming up this week with any Wolves news that's coming out. So if you're not subscribed, why not? Make sure you do it. Smash a like. And until the next time, from all of us, always Wolves.
Always Wolves.